The next one is written by Mulciper, which this is the last one that they wrote.
Ah.
I had a chance to read all of the previous stuff. But yeah, Mulciper wrote Saint Simon's Day. And this one, I'm pretty sure this was the other one that's very long. Yeah, because there's like so many other sections.
That's okay. We'll
But
get through it.
But this is the second last one. We can get to the end.
Yeah, I have time.
Oh, okay, good. Nice. My life.
Me too.
I agree.
What does object class Keter mean again?
Keter is by the way, Keter is also fine. I've been saying Keter for like 3 years until someone said to me like actually it's pronounced Keter, but like most people say Keter because it sounds better. It basically means that the effect itself could change the whole world.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Fun.
It could either be that it kills the entirety of the world, or that like the entirety of the world finds out that the SCP Foundation is a thing. So like, it's just highly. It's like basically priority to keep it contained is on high stakes here.
Ooh.
So here we go. Object class Keter, special containment procedure, and you can see even the containment procedures is much longer than the other ones that we read.
Oh jeez, yeah.
All containment efforts are directed towards surveillance of prime susceptibility communities and rapid mobilization of venue disruption teams upon confirmation of a SCP-2098 Phase 2 event. Site-23's 2 dedicated PSC-2089 monitoring team members are to maintain media oversight of yet unaffected prime susceptibility communities as a sole function. GenStat Team 88 Bartleby is to maintain the ongoing global media
Bartleby.
Bumblebee is to maintain the ongoing global media search procedures for SCP-2098 activity outside of prime susceptibility communities at a priority 3 in the duty cycle to be altered as necessary by site management, Riser, or O5 mandate. Containment teams stationed in active SCP-2098 communities are to monitor and maintain an accurate record of all instances of St. Simon's Day and intervene to prevent virulent behaviors in an SCP-2098 vectors. -Red vectors should be taken into custody under the guise of U.S. Customs and Border Protection and remanded to Site-23 for analysis and disposal. Containment teams are to use standard hearing protection when attempting to contain any potential -Red vector. Local monitoring teams are to be stationed in any community affected by a SCP-2098 event, regardless of whether or not disruption was successful. Expanded local mass media surveillance to include delivery methods such as skywriting, smartphone-based advertising, and faith-based community outreach should continue indefinitely until further research determines the long-term effects of event exposure on community susceptibility. Sanctioned venue disruption can range from simply renting the facility/space in question to making it permanently uninhabitable in extreme cases. Venue disruption has proven effective in preventing 100% of SCP-2098 events detected before Phase 3 begins. This requires a minimum of resources or long-term intervention in most cases. All available notifications, banners, flyers, posters, pamphlets, videotapes, etc. of an SCP-2098 event are to be collected following its conclusion regardless of its sources or failure. Description: SCP-2098 is most easily understood as a virulent holiday. Oh, yeah, I remember this now. SCP-2098 is the cumulative reference for a series of anomalous phenomena and behaviors which override existing human perception of a calendar date or dates, with the belief that the date in question is a holiday designated St. Simon's Day. In practice, SCP-2098 behaves in a manner roughly analogous to a pathogen infecting human perception of the calendar date through self-replicating SCP-2098 events. These events alter human perception of the date to varying degrees in order to sustain existing perceptive anomalies and/or propagate further events. It is theorized that without intervention, 100% of the human population would perceive and celebrate St. Simon's Day every calendar day within 26 years, resulting in an XB-class perceptive restructuring scenario. So yeah, that's like one of the multiple classes where it's like, oh, that's like how bad it could affect the world. Like in this case, perceptive restructuring, as in like the entire world, the perception of an event will change.
Of reality, basically.
Yeah, exactly. There's also like some classes with like hostile takeover, cognito hazard, info hazard, and so on and so forth. There's like usually most Keter classes have that type of stuff. It's just not good. To date, all communities experiencing an SCP-2098 event has been located in American-held states and territories which do not observe daylight saving times and have been in existence as a distinct civic entities no earlier than January 1st, 1969. So you guys are screwed first. I'm still good.
What the F?
Yo.
I wanna die.
Why me? Communities meeting these criteria are designated prime susceptibility communities. There is currently no evidence of an SCP-2098 event occurring prior to 1969, though research is ongoing to determine if the SCP-2098 effect is new and unique only to this geographic/legislative region, or if it exists/has existed with differing parameters elsewhere. Though events have thus far only taken place in this limited range, -red vectors can easily transmit infection to communities and individuals outside the zone. Due to the Foundation intervention, no documented infection has yet taken root outside of a prime susceptibility community. SCP-2098 phenomena proceed along a currently predictable course, and you get to read Phase 1, and also the example of Phase 1 activity.
Yes, sir. All right. So, Phase 1. SCP-2098 will begin to manifest in a target community through altered signage/advertising for a local gathering. This will invariably include some iteration of the phrase St. Simon. Targeted events are always community-wide in scope, with no formal invitation required, such as a race, festival, fair, or parade. SCP-2098 will progressively co-opt such a community event over the course of 2 or 30 days. See list of previous instances. At this phase, only a single media outlet may be affected, and the naming convention may not yet be consistent or logical.
Alright, example of Phase 1 activity. Here we go.
In Event 2098-6, flyers for the Chino Valley. Chino Valley? Did I say that right? I think it's Chino Valley.
Yeah, I think it's like Chino. Yeah, I think so.
Chino Valley, Arizona Firemen's Association pancake breakfasts were affected 12 days before the event date to read alternatively St. Simon's Day Oracular Catechesis, St. Simon's Day Bisected Youth Vigil, and Feast of St. Simon's Timorous Indulgence. Why does this sound familiar? Oh gosh. I think I know what this is. Because I lived through it. Oh god. The words St. Simon in promotional materials are thus far the only commonalities between announcements for SCP-2098 events at this phase. Containment teams are to verify a shift to Phase 2 before attempting any form of intervention, as targeted venues and event types have shifted randomly during Phase 1, leading to confusion and loss of containment. There is currently no reliable protocol for effective neutralization of an SCP-2098 event during Phase 1.
Alright, do you also want to read Phase 2?
Sure.
Alright.
So basically, I think what they're trying to say is that they have no way of stopping this from spreading. It's basically, it sounds so far like a Mandela effect, but, or like a forced, like, effect, but Phase 2. 48 hours before the event date, all promotional materials for the event will alter to include a consistent iteration of St. Simon in their title. In addition, the venue will be consistent across these materials, and they will specify a duration of 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. without exception. Widespread perceptive anomalies will first manifest in the affected community during Phase 2, with 100% of residents possessing accurate but unsourced knowledge of the event date, duration, venue, and name. There appears to be no accompanying compulsion to attend the event despite this knowledge. Unless the venue is rendered unavailable, the scheduled community gathering will take place in accordance with the time and date indicated on the SCP-2098 altered media. Venue description is only currently proven means of preventing an SCP-2098 event.
Example Phase 2 activity. Here we go.
That's so weird. In Event 2098-7, 7 out of 15 community members interviewed reported to have seen anomalous promotional materials during Phase 1, but could not reliably say what the advertised event constituted or when it was. 48 hours before the consistently advertised Phase 2 event date, 100% of interviewees confirmed the date, venue, time, and nature of the event as the St. Simon's Day Flensing Cursilo. Sunday from 12 to 4. Interviewees reported no confusion regarding this name. Promotional materials for the event posted through various media outlets consistently designated the event as the St. Simon's Day Flensing Cursilo. Cursilo? To take place on Sunday, 10/21/1991, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the local Vista del Montana Park. Notes that despite the anomalous name change, physical preparations for this event proceeded normally. The co-opted event was a chili cookout.
All right. I'll read Phase 3 and 4. At 12:01 p.m. on the confirmed date, an SCP-2098 event will enter Phase 3. All persons within the designated community event boundaries will cease voluntary movement for precisely 16 minutes and 16 seconds, ending 12:17 p.m. local time. Non-human life is not affected by SCP-2098 events. If observed at a range closer than 50 meters during this time, the observer will enter the event boundaries and be affected accordingly. Although close-range medical tests are not possible, viewing from minimum safe distance indicates that SCP-2098 affected individuals continue to respirate and blink normally for the duration of the stasis. Mild to moderate physical interaction from a non-human entity or outside force will break the stasis, causing the affected individuals to fall prone and collapse into a fully unconscious state that will last until the cessation of the event at 12:17 p.m. local time. Phase 4. At 12:17 p.m. local time, the event enters Phase 4. All affected individuals will leave stasis, including those who may have been rendered unconscious and prone due to outside force, and return to their homes by whatever means they arrived at the venue. While affected individuals will not violently resist attempts to interfere with their return to their homes, should one individual affected by SCP-2098 be detained, the remaining affected subjects will come to their aid and attempt to remove whatever person or obstacles are preventing the individual from returning to their home. Example Phase 4 activity. In Event -4, an attempt was made to quarantine the entire venue, a local veterans meeting hall, to observe affected subjects. Despite door barricades and non-lethal deterrents, the 264 affected subjects would not or could not respond to questioning and took any opportunity available to attempt to exit the premises and return to the residence, even if this resulted in their injury. After barricades were removed and the containment team allowed the affected individuals to leave, none of those later interviewed recalled the detention or anything other than a pleasant day at the 53rd annual St. Simon's Day Pretoric Exhortation. Note that the affected community had been in existence for less than 3 years, and the physically prepared event was a silent auction for a local charity. In Event -5, -5, the entire affected populace was quarantined under the guise of a valley fever outbreak. The Pyrrhus protocol was authorized and its use as effectively neutralized the spread of the localized SB2098 infection. After ethics committee review, this containment method has been disallowed. And then we have phase 5. I'll allow you to read
You
out.
want me to read this?
Yeah.
Okay. The final phase of an SCP-2098 event transitions the affected populace into 2 distinct vector classes, green and red, within 6 hours of return to their homes. If prevented from returning to their homes, vector classes manifest within 1 to 2 hours, making community inventory and maintenance far more practical if the populace is permitted to return to their homes during Phase 4. This is current SOP for non-disrupted events.
All right.
Standard operating procedure. Yay.
Yes, you got it. Green vector, here we go.
Green vector information. Individuals designated SCP-2098-green, appended with specific event number, will consider the date of their SCP-2098 exposure event to be St. Simon's Day. This affects both past recollections of the date as well as future dates. For instance, 2098-green-6 will individuals consider all past and future Octobers the 21st to be St. Simon's Day. Just a second. There's neighborhood kids that are playing and I don't want them to interrupt your recording. Can you hear anything?
I could not hear them.
Okay. Okay, good. That's good. Then I shall continue. And you can cut that out of the recording.
No.
SCP-2098 green vectors recall their exposure event date to have proceeded normally. They recall a full 4 to 5 hours of specific conversations and activities on their exposure date, despite having experienced only 16 minutes and 16 seconds of linear time. Amnestic therapy has been successful in eliminating these fabricated memories, but the assertion that all past and future anniversaries of the event date are St. Simon's Day remains with affected subjects. When presented with conflicting information regarding the existence of such a holiday, 2098-green vectors experience mild confusion but retain their conviction regarding the anomalous date and will continue to act accordingly on subsequent anniversaries of their exposure date. Children, and in 2 verified cases, grandchildren of 2098-green vectors, will refer to their parents' original exposure date as St. Simon's Day upon reaching approximately 3 years of age. These individuals are also classed as SCP-2098-green vectors and share their parents' anomalous experience of the original exposure date despite the fact they were not yet born. They are able to recall the same fabricated conversations and activities experienced by their parent on the initial exposure date with 100% accuracy. Long-term monitoring has not established any future behavioral or perceptual disturbances in 2098-green subjects, or established a limit to how many generations it may persist within the family line.
I don't know why, but I just imagine, because Saint Simon was a real person, so I imagine him just like Vegeta on the ground, just like, I want my own holiday. I want. Just pounding the ground like, I want my own holiday, please. And then the SCP Foundation world was just like, here you go. And it's like, oh.
Wow.
All right. Vet vector information. I'll read this one. Dash red vectors are generated when an SCP-2098 event takes place on the affected subject's birthday. Current research indicates that dash red vectors exhibit the following characteristics across all affected communities, though observation is limited and difficult pending updated contact procedures. Dash red instances are constantly active, highly virulent vectors for SCP-2098 perceptive infection. If they are heard speaking by unaffected individuals at a range of closer than 15 meters for longer than approximately 120 seconds, such individuals will become dash green instances. substituting the date of exposure with St. Simon's Day and attendant phenomena. Audio/visual recordings of -red vectors do not retain this effect. -red vectors can selectively omit existing holidays from widespread perception through extended public speaking. If allowed to speak for greater than a 1,200 second threshold, any individuals affected or unaffected capable of hearing and understanding the -red vector will begin to replace knowledge of existing culturally established holidays with the fabricated information regarding St. Simon's Day provided by the -red instance. Subjects affected by this aspect of -red vectors can identify multiple dates as St. Simon's Day concurrently without cognitive dissonance. So somebody could like just talk for 1,200 seconds and just replace Halloween with St. Simon's Day.
Oh God, this is so weird, but literally, I think this is an actual like thing. But continue.
I feel like the amnestics is wearing off on you.
Probably, but it just sounds so familiar to me as a kid. I think I remember like my parents. This is gonna sound so weird, but I really do think.
If you're gonna tell me that your parents celebrate St. Simon's Day, I'm gonna freak out.
No, like not celebrate, but it was something like. It was a thing where people would say, "Oh yeah, haven't you heard of St. Simon's Day?" or something like that. And I kid you not, and it's weird that it says that it affects Americans because
that is I'm concerned.
This is weird. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's one of those like old wives' tales or old like, folk tales basically. You know, like how your parents, well, some of ours would be like, if you step on a crack, you'll break your mother's back.
Yeah,
That's one, for example. Just
which,
stuff
by the
like
way,
that.
That's an SCP as well.
Wait, oh God, please, no.
Yeah, there's
That's what I'm saying. So this makes sense because it would be like, oh yeah, it's St. Simon's Day, and it'd be like, oh my gosh, and everyone would on the playground. I remember in elementary school, be like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's St. Simon's Day, and I'm like, what? And like, if you didn't know what St. Simon's Day was, you weren't cool. Like, you weren't in the cool crowd. No, it's like, yeah, it was weird.
Are you sure you?
So that's what I'm like listening to this, and I'm like, that like from the start, I was like, why does this sound familiar to me?
Are you sure you didn't accidentally like travel to a different dimension? Like you are from a different world?
Not. What if I am? Oh God, no, just keep reading. I can't right now.
You just start questioning, like, no, there ain't no way.
I am the caterpillar.
Oh no, I'm sorry, but there's no Juan anymore around.
He was the only Juan for me.
-red vectors will experience rapid atrophy. Like, what if it actually said something like in like somewhere in the sense like in the childhood? Oh man, -red vectors will experience rapid atrophy of the memories and personality over the 36-hour period following the initial exposure event. They retain no memory of the previous identity at 48 hours. After this time, the -red vector will consider themselves to be eponymous Saint Simon and work exhaustively to make themselves visible and heard by as many people as possible. No biographical information regarding this identity has been established as -red instances proselytize incoherently almost constantly and seen unaware of questions directed towards them. Amnestic therapy has not proven effective in restoring any functional memory within -red vectors. Addenda. This is such a long one. I read this as well. Record -966.3 Official Vatican Inquiry and Concurrent Research. On the 4th, 17th, 1974, Foundation researchers requested access to the Vatican Library records pertaining to the biblical/historical Saint Simon. These records were not made available until the 1983 Code of Canon Law revision was in place, which contained additional unpublished Vatican provisions and guidelines for requests of this nature. After a thorough examination of the released documents, no correlation was drawn between the biblical/historical personage of Saint Simon with any of the anomalous effects in question. However, records of heretical activities and subcultures affiliated with Saint Simon revealed a brief entry for the Commune of Simon Eternal, founded by one Emmett Parsons of Tucson, Arizona, circa 1968. Church records indicate that the group represented a confluence of drug culture and elementary hagiography, but a cursory investigation revealed little of interest to these fucking words. Ecumenical authorities? Emmett Parson preached that his followers could renounce time as Simon renounced gold, through the ritualized use of various psychedelics and the concurrent destruction of timepieces. Followers could therefore live each day as a saint. Further behaviors are standard for cult activity, emphasizing the commodification of women and unserving loyalty to the founder. Parsons appears again in a 1969 report of his murder at the hands of one of his 16 brides, Abigail Stroh. This has led researchers to shift from Parsons to Stroh. Notably, Abigail Stroh received no prison sentence for the murder of Emmett Parson, and Event-1 commenced within 1 week of her release from custody. And you get to read Addendum-1072.4 Action Reports PSC-209.
Crying in the club. All right, let's
Team
go. Let's
Bravo.
get it.
All right, here you go.
Following event 2098-17 in 2009, so I was 9 years old, SCP-2098 Team Bravo reopens investigation into Struff after learning she retains the deed to commune lands to this day under the Deacons Advisory Partnership, nonprofit organization. Repeated calls to the organization's phone number return a voicemail message stating staff is out of the office in observance of St. Simon's Day. Stop. Upgraded observation of site approved September 21st, 2010. No confirmed sightings of Struff documented at this time. As of Disrupted 2098 Event 15, naming conventions for co-opted events have altered from the standard nonsensical combinations of ritualized behavior and Catholic terminology. Analytics staff report the following pattern in recently disrupted event names. Event 2098-15, St. Simon's frequency dichotomy. Okay, yeah. And 2098-16, St. Simon's Procession of Shortest Waves. Event 2098-17, St. Simon's Cathode Intercession. Event 209-18, St. Simon's Communion of the Wavelengths. Event 2098-19, St. Simon's Etheric Voice Triumphant. Event 2098-19, though successfully disrupted, was followed by the broadcast launch of a Tucson, Arizona public access television program, entitled 60 Seconds to Freedom at 12:01 p.m. the day following Event 209-8-19's disruption. Broadcast review indicates a 62% key phrase match from previously collected 2098 read statements. Broadcast tapes secured, and both production staff and talent are held at Site 23, undergoing processing and exposure tests. The Deacons Advisory Partnership website was updated to include a legal defense fund drive 48 hours following the detention of 60 Seconds to Freedom staff and talent, though no explicit link between the two incidents is advertising through the site.
Whew.
So that one was just a lot. It seemed like it was a cult, like, that was trying to take over, like a cult ideology that was trying to basically take over all of our holidays and, like, just create more and more and more holidays of this one thing as a form of, like, control. And then, like, when you try to stop it, it's very difficult to stop because it has such a high pull. Yeah. High influence.
It also makes you like wonder, like, how much does Saint Simon the person have anything involved in this? It does sound like the cult itself started this whole thing, where they were like, oh yeah, like where was it? down here where it was like saying what I'm completely forgetting what it's talked about it. But yeah, but the code basically was like saying like it was a drug infused code, and they're like trying to like get everybody to. Oh yeah, Emmett Parson. Yeah, preached that his followers could renounce time as salmon renounces gold, and live each day as a saint. Yeah, it sounds like very much like they wanted the whole world to become saint-like. That they would like, and then like the holiday would slowly but surely take over almost every single day.
Basically, the holiday would every single day at the same time, and it was just like celebrate, celebrate, celebrate.
Yeah,
That's so scary to think about.
Yeah, because like people, all the people that are in the red category, which were if ever Saint Simon's Day was on their birthday, they would go out and talk about it, and then affect other people with it, and yeah. I think I made like a Simon Says joke in my original stream, but now that I think about it, it doesn't even make any sense.
Simon Says, that's what I'm saying. Is if it said, I remember going out to the playground in like elementary school, and one person would yell that it's St. Simon's Day, and it would all be over, and then everyone would be like, oh yeah, did you know it's St. Simon's Day? And like because of that, because it was because somebody started that, there was like specific like playground rules or something. It was just weird. That's why this kind of like resonated with me a bit, because I'm like, why does this sound familiar?
Yo, I'm concerned that you actually live what almost sounds like exactly what this was about.
Almost, yeah. Just not as like not as technical, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that like you basically did not know what it was, but some people did, and then like, I mean,
yeah.
Who knows
what if it is real? Oh god.
Who knows if like if that kid that you on the playground like explained to you for 120 seconds what St. Simon's Day was, you could have been infected.
Oh god. I think that was the point too, is that you're supposed to like block your ears and run away from people. Like it was kind of like a game of tag, but yeah.
Well, how old were you?
Oh god, elementary school. So
okay.
That for me was 2nd grade. What was I, like 8? I don't know.
You were 8?
I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I think 8, 10. Oh wait, no, 10 is 3rd grade, 4th grade.
Oh, okay, hold on.
That's what I'm saying, because it mentioned something about 2009. In 2009, I was 9 and in elementary school.
Well, you're good. This thing was written in 2014, so.
Yes, but if you look up, it said that there were occurrences in 2009 and 2010.
That's true. Yeah, there were.
So this was written years later. 2009, and then approved 2010.
Oh, Rika-chan, what were you involved in?
I don't know. I'm scared. Run.
Are you squared? I'll be squared in this moment. Oh, man. Well, we're getting to the last one now.